Hello, my name is Colette and I'd like to welcome you today to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. I'm here to do a reading today for Cancers or Cancerians or Crabs, however you prefer to call yourselves. And sorry for itchy nose, it always happens to me. It's a general read. It's not going to resonate with everybody. That's what a general read means, is that there's so many Cancerians out there that this isn't going to make sense to all of you. Hopefully it will make sense to some of you out there. So that being said, I will also be putting a link in the description box down below for anybody who would like to check out their Moon, Venus and Rising sign, because it is a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising as well. And if you don't know where the other placements are, the link will give you some more insight into that if you're interested in finding out more about that. Also, that I have put out other videos, so if your message isn't in this particular reading, you might be able to find it elsewhere in another reading that I've already done, or in readings that I'm yet to put out, because I will be putting more out this week and next week. Okay, with all that being said, I'm going to start your reading, Cancers, with the heart of the reading. I will just like to say that my readings seem to have got more complex. I started out with quite a basic kind of spread, and it's kind of grown into something a lot more complex with a lot more cards. It just seems to be what's kind of happening, so I'm just going with the flow of it and see where it takes me. So the first card here is the Tower in reverse, which says to me that this has already happened. It might have happened quite a while ago, it might be quite a recent occurrence, but this, I get the feeling that this is something that has kind of, is still lingering. There's still a sense of this came in, this energy kind of broke down the structure of your life, because that's what it does. This is the kind of structure of our lives. This is the kind of the bricks that we put around ourselves as we go through life, and kind of our beliefs, our ideas, the things that we hold dear to us, you know, and sometimes we kind of outgrow these things. And this tower is one of those moments. It's when we kind of have to break free from what it is that has kind of become our prison, if you like, our self-created prison. And so there is a need here for this tower to fall, for something else to be created. In this card, it's kind of Poseidon who's bringing in this kind of moment, shall we say, because this is very kind of fast acting energy as well. So it's also like bolts of lightning, which is more Uranian than Neptunian. But this is also to do with the emotions as well. So this will have been, and it normally always is, kind of an emotional, well, it stirs up a lot of emotions, and it tends to leave the person just feeling bereft of everything that they thought that was true in their life, all the kind of things that they clung to, or the crutches that they had, or the things they thought they could rely on and be kind of would always be there. It's a real kind of breakthrough in many ways. A lot of people see this card as being a negative card. I tend to see it more as something that is kind of freeing ourselves from, like I said, this kind of self-imposed prison structure. And it is also quite a Capricornian card as well. And we do have, at this moment in time, Cancer, you actually have Capricorn as your 7th house, which, well, it's always your 7th house of relationships. But you have Saturn and you have Pluto in that sign at the moment. Also Jupiter has recently moved in there as well. But anyway, this is an upside down tower card at the very heart of your reading. So it's saying to me that this is something that is still kind of reverberating there for you. You're still feeling the after effects of this. And what's in your head and what you're aware of is the Lovers card. So I'm going to say off the bat that this is kind of related very much to the choice of the person who you thought was going to be in your life for a long time. The person that you chose as your lover to have a relationship with, to put your time, your energy and your effort into. I think that's where this Tower moment is coming from. I think that something has happened with you in this relationship that has kind of turned everything up the wrong way. But the Lovers card is up the right way. If it was upside down, I would say that this person is having kind of thoughts of regrets about this choice. But it's not reversed, so this person is still kind of clinging to this, even though this Tower has kind of swept it away. This person is still hopeful, shall we say. They're still wanting this. So I'm going to read these cards together, which also came out with the Tower. So they kind of came out like this. I'm trying to put them all together, but I will read them separately for you as well. I just want you to see the kind of overall picture of what I've got here. So they are just for the Tower as well. They're not an energy connecting the Lovers card, but in saying that, you do have the reversed Two of Cups, which is why I believe that this is very much about this kind of relationship that has gone wrong. The Tower has caused this, which did seem at the time as to be the one. Cancerians, this can either relate to yourselves, this reading, it can relate to the person that you have been in a relationship with, maybe still are connected to that person as well. But the Two of Cups talks of that initial attraction, that spark, that kind of like, yes, I really want to be with you. Yes, I really want you in my life. Yes, I really want you and me to make something of this. But when it's reversed, it's kind of saying that it hasn't, the dream that was there hasn't worked out. It could also be somebody has been rejected, because that is also another thing that the Tower does as well. It brings in this kind of rejection energy as well sometimes. The person needs to break free. It can be they need to break free from this relationship, which could also be yourself, Cancer. It could have been the other person. But there is this feeling of needing to break out of something. And the card that came out with that is the Strength card, which is saying to me that you needed to find some strength in order to carry on. You had to find an inner strength. You had to somehow, because this, I think, was very emotionally destructive. Emotionally destructive. You had to really dig deep and find your inner strength. But you have done it, because this card is in the upright position as well. And you may even have had to dig deep to walk away from this as well. You may have had to move away from it, find the strength to give it up. Because what we have after this is the Devil card. And the Devil card to me talks about our fears, having to face our fears, having to face our darkness, the things that we don't want to look at within ourselves. Which also the Tower kind of has this potential to do as well, is to make us stop and look at what has happened and why has it happened. what caused it to happen. And we do tend to kind of always project these things onto other people rather than kind of look at our own part within the story. But this is also a card of release as well. It is releasing yourself from those fears, from the chains that hold you to your fears. And maybe that's what's been the problem here within this relationship. Maybe there has been a lot of fear, maybe from past relationships as well. Carrying a lot of this into a relationship. Maybe this is about a lot of other relationships that have kind of ended up within this relationship. And it's kind of all come to a head and brought in this Tower moment. The fear. Because this is also quite kind of Pluto energy as well. Pluto in your 7th house of relationships, which is your house of Capricorn, which, as you may or may not be aware, you have both the malefics sitting there at the moment, Saturn and Pluto, both kind of working through the adverse. Pluto in particular is very much about kind of the destructor, the destroyer, destroying what has been in order for something else to grow. But at the time, it's a very painful situation. Of course, as well, the devil is also seen as Saturn, Capricorn energy again as well. So, what comes after that is the Death card, which is probably more the Pluto energy, I would say. And it's in reverse. So it's saying to me that there is a situation here. This is kind of the backstory, if you like, to what has happened. Kind of the backstory, going in more in depth into the backstory. This Death card, being upside down, says to me that this is something that somebody is resisting. They're resisting this death. They don't want to go through this process. They don't want to die. They don't want to let it go. They don't want to, those energies, these energies. I think there's a fear here that if they transform, they're no longer going to be connected to this person. Whoever this person is in your relationship, Cancer, whether it's yourself, whether it's the person you have been having a relationship with or are still in a relationship with. Cross watchers, this can also be swapped energies as well. But this Death card is saying to me that something has got to die, but this person doesn't want it to. They're still holding on to it. And the Lovers card has also come out in reverse here as well. So you've got 4 major arcana cards here. Strength, the Devil, Death, the Lovers in reverse, whereas you also have the Lovers upright as well. So this says to me that this is definitely about a one-to-one relationship. And this is kind of both sides. This is what happened in the relationship, in the sense that the Lovers, everything kind of went wrong. It all turned upside down. And of course, this is all to do with this card here as well. So all this is the backstory of this situation that is at the heart of your reading at the moment. Quite big energies, Cancer, that you've had to deal with here. Mostly, I would say, because you have got Saturn and Pluto and the South Node in your 7th house of relationships. So those relationships are having to transform, whether you like it or not. And this kind of upside down death card is saying to me that this person does not, and maybe it isn't, I thought it was upside down, maybe I've put it in the wrong way. It was upside down when it came out. Sorry about that. It was upside down, and it was saying that this person doesn't want to go through that transformation. They don't want to let go of this. And one of the reasons I'm saying that as well is because the Lovers card up the top and what's in your head also came out with the Judgment card over the top. And so if this had been reversed, I would say that this was a bad call, because this is a call to judgment. This is a call to kind of judge the situation in the sense of you're having to look at it on a deeper level. And in reverse, it kind of says that you feel as though you've probably made the wrong call, that this wasn't a good choice. But because it's up the right way, and it's what's in your head and it's what you're aware of, Cancer, is that this, you feel, was a good call. Even though you went through all this, you still feel that it was the right thing. There's a real strong sense of somebody would kind of give up everything for this person. Even though they had to walk away. So the Judgment card is saying to me that you're wanting to go back and resurrect this. You want to resurrect it. You want to bring it back to life. What's underneath the rest of those cards at the kind of subconscious level is the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands is saying that this has been a hard struggle. This boat is getting battered. Boat always represents life to me. And this boat is getting bashed and beaten on these rocks. This is where it wants to be. This is his like destination after his long journey. His home. He can see it in the distance. And to me this kind of represents what the relationship was. In the sense that through all the turmoil and all the kind of struggles, this safe haven was kind of the place that you thought you were going to get to with this person, into more calmer and more serene water after all the chaos had calmed down. That's where you thought you were going to get to. The Nine of Wands is it's not the completion, it's the almost there energy. So it was like you've been through a lot together. This wasn't just you on your own, Cancer, or yeah, this is a couple together. You've been through a lot together and you were hoping to get to here. But it didn't happen because of this. This stormy, you can see that here, it's also here as well. And for me it's always emotional. Water, always emotional. So this kind of kept you stuck on these rocks, shall we say. And kept you stuck. There was no moving forward in this. At least not with this person. So I'm going to read the cards that came out with the Nine of Wands, because there was 3 cards that came out with this. Nine of Wands here. And the first card was actually the Six of Cups. which speaks to me of a innocent or innocence within this relationship, a kind of recognition and knowing of each other, because they are both young, they're both children. It's like there's a past, there's a history here. And they work and play well together. There's a lot of kind of easy energy between the two of them. They're having a good time. But there is history here, and it may be history that goes further back than just this relationship. This could be somebody that you've known from your past, from your childhood even. Cancerians do tend to have a how can you put it, a sentimentality, where they like to hold on to past relationships and things that have meaning to them, people especially. And the cards that came out with this is the two at all. It's the King of Water, King of Cups, and the King of Fire, King of Wands or Rods. And so these are very different energies. This is kind of passion and emotion. It's very passionate and emotion I feel around this relationship, I suppose. This person kind of stirs up these feelings of these two kings, and they're both upright as well, so it's a very positive thing. This isn't a negative thing, these feelings. This person kind of has this person in emotion. They have them by their heart in that sense. They immerse themselves in their emotions with this person. Also, you've got the Saturn, planet Saturn up there as well, in your 7th house of relationships, and I do think that it's playing a big part in what is happening in your relationships at the moment, Cancer. And also this planet, I believe this to be Jupiter, because this is fire. This is your Sagittarius, your Aries and your Leos, and this is your Cancers, yourself, Pisces and Scorpio energies as well. So it could be any of those energies, but these are, it's almost like this person has two sides to their nature. Very fiery and very passionate, but also at the same time very loving and very giving and very caring. They're also quite adventurous and quite spontaneous. But once they've given their heart, I feel that this person finds it very difficult to take that back. And the cards that came out also, because these cards came out over the top of the Nine of Wands. It's all getting very complex and complicated in these readings, I know. But I kind of feel that this is more on the surface of the subconscious, if you like. This is kind of more what's around the right way for the reading. This is kind of what's more on the surface. It's more of what's apparent or rising up to the surface. It's not actually in the head area yet, but it's kind of rising up from the subconscious. Because what is below, these cards came out below the subconscious. we have these 3 cards here, along with the 9 of Wands. So I will again read these individually as they came out. So the Queen of Cups came out first, and she came out in reverse. And the Queen of Cups can be quite, again, very emotional. Again, she's literally sitting in her emotions. Very, very emotional. Again, the gender isn't the issue here. It's the energies behind the cards. I will just say that again. It doesn't have to be a woman, as we both have both energies within us. So the Queen of Cups kind of very much sits in her emotions. But she's known to be, because she's so emotional, the Queen of Cups can have trouble knowing where her own emotions start and where they end. She can get so caught up in the person that she's with that she kind of lives out their life with them without really having her own identity. And this can kind of cause a lot of trouble later down the line, because the Queen of Cups is very much an individual person. But this is your really kind of your psychics, your kind of clairsentients, empaths. Those kind of people who just have this kind of knowingness about them. Often they have, again, because it's water, it's Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces. They will often have a lot of water in their astrological makeup as well. More than just one sign. But it's in reverse. So to me it's saying that this kind of caused, because she can cause conflict, because she can appear as one thing, because being a cipher or a mirror, she reflects whatever it is that you want to see. So you can project all your kind of hopes and dreams and wishes of how you want that person to be onto this energy. What you want to see in them, or what they want to see in you, depends which way round this energy is. But the Queen of Cups actually does have her own identity beyond this. So it's almost like she can then become somebody else. And the other person who's been projecting all of their own ideas of who this person is onto her suddenly realises that this is not who they thought it was, and it can cause this kind of, again, this tower moment, this kind of breaking down of what you believed was there within your relationship. So the next card that came out with this is the 7 of Wands, which kind of speaks to me of a struggle, an ongoing struggle. Again, it's reversed, so it's kind of saying that there's a feeling that this has been hard on this person, whichever person. Well, it may even have been hard on both of you, actually. It may have been hard on both of you. I think you've both suffered through this, and you're both still trying to stand your ground. You're both still trying to find out where it is that you stand, or even to the point where you don't even maybe remember how you got to this point, but you're both still kind of staying guarded and kind of feeling like you've got to, what's the word I'm looking for? Feeling like you've got to, there's a word. What's that word? Defend? Defend your position against this person or against each other. You're both having to defend maybe your actions of what happened. But I feel that there's a lot of confusion around this because the moon has come out as well. And the moon is kind of saying that things are still hidden here. There isn't clarity. There's no clarity in this situation yet. Things are kind of still very much in the dark. In the dark. No solutions have been made or found. No no answers as of yet have been completely understood. It's like having a big jigsaw puzzle and not having all the pieces. That's probably the best way to try and explain the moon. Big jigsaw puzzle, not all the pieces, trying to make sense of it. And you can get a sense of you're going absolutely mental, like, you know, lunacy. That's where the word lunacy comes from, lunar. Because literally you're trying to make some sense of something that you don't have all the information for. So you're kind of trying to fill in the bits that you don't have information on a kind of, like, you may sense it, you may know it on some deeper level, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you know it's true. And that's the part that can actually send you spinning off. Because you can drive yourself quite mad going over the same ground with this as well. You can see here she's kind of looking backwards, forwards, like past, present and future. So she's trying to kind of make sense of it all, trying to put it all together and come up with reasoning, but she's trying to do it without having all the information that she needs. So that's what's at the kind of a very subconscious level. So this is something that you may not even be aware of yourself, Cancer, as in what has caused this tower moment. Because this is kind of what's led up to this tower moment. And the energy that's moving, the energy that's moving away, I haven't done that yet. I'll quickly do the energy that's moving away before I move into what's moving in. Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords energy. Logical, not wanting to take any notice of her emotions. Very, very opposite of this. And yet both very kind of, if you look at the colour of their dresses here, they're both very similar. And to me, this is always about communication from the heart and, you know, honest, true, heartfelt conversations. Because that dress to me represents the kind of throat chakra of the blue and the heart chakra of the green, kind of mixed together and make this beautiful turquoise. Hers is also kind of turquoise. The Queen of Cups is also kind of turquoise, but hers has got a more of a green look to it than this one, which is more the heart chakra. So she is, because she's cups and emotions, she's coming more from her heart center. But of course she is upside down, so that hasn't been recognized, shall we say, this energy. But here she's just wanting to pour those emotions away. And this has been around for a while. There's been a need to be very logical about this. There's a need to be very kind of almost stern, almost kind of standoffish, holding that sword up as if to say, like, you know, okay, I'm open to listening, but I'm also going to cut through any of the crap and any of the BS that you might come out with. But this has been around for a while. So this has been an ongoing situation. And I feel that it's been kind of, because you've got the Wheel of Fortune here as well, which has come out with this. And again, it's reversed. The Wheel of Fortune to me is kind of saying in reverse that this is kind of, these are fated situations when they're up this way. A situation of just feeling as though you're on this ongoing, like, wheel just keeps turning and turning and turning. And I think that this at the moment is saying that this is the energy, that this wheel is kind of, you know, like on a treadmill, that you feel that you have to be kind of defensive, and you feel that you have to kind of defend your position, and you can't get emotionally caught up in it. You can't allow yourself to be emotionally attached at this time to that situation. Possibly because it is too overwhelming. Possibly because you just end up here. And that may well be too much. So the card that's moving in, as that card moves out, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Now the Queen of Pentacles is very earthy, she's very grounded, she's very nourishing. If you look at the energy here compared to the energy here, so this says to me that there is going to be a change here. There's going to be a change. This is much more fertile, much more nurturing, giving. This is totally barren soil here, and it's like she's just tipping this water out onto this barren soil. And maybe this is what's going to help grow all of this. Maybe that's what she's hoping here. But interestingly enough for me as well, is you have here 3 different aspects for me of the feminine that all kind of turn up in this card here. You have Athene, who represents the mind and the logic, and you have the Queen of Pentacles, which is here, Hera, with her world in her hand. She's very much the earthy mother type goddess, who actually appears later in another card as well as the Empress. And you have Aphrodite here, which is the cup. She holds the cup here in her hand, I believe. Yeah, there. You've got the cup there. And so does the Queen of Cups. And put her up the right way. I know I keep putting her upside down. There we go. So she has the cup there as well. So this is the 3 aspects of woman. So I'm going to kind of say that whoever the female is in this relationship, the male in the relationship, the man in the relationship sees you as all of these. And interestingly enough, the one that's missing, of course, is the Queen of Wands. But within Aphrodite, you have both these kind of, this heart and this passion, because our choices are often made from a sense of passion rather than a sense of kind of love. You know, we can often get involved in relationships because we are sexually attracted to somebody, rather than kind of thinking of long-term love affairs, as in, is this person going to be somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with? Especially in our youth, we can be much more kind of just wanting something that's not serious. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't all have to kind of meet the right person and settle down in our lives immediately. And, you know, and then find out years later that actually you don't want to be with that person any longer, and you don't actually love that person the way you thought you did at the time. And then you realise that it was kind of more of a sexual attraction that was keeping you together, and maybe you don't even have that anymore. So for me, Aphrodite kind of represents both those sides, the kind of passion and the kind of the love as well, because love can be very kind of mixed and very confusing and very kind of what's the word, yeah, mixed kind of, yeah, you know, two sides of the same coin, shall we say. So this man in this relationship, he sees this woman as all of these energies. So with the Queen of Pentacles, who is very kind of motherly, very earthy, very grounded, very strong in herself, we also have the King of Wands come out, and he came out upside down, but we have the King of Wands coming out twice here. King of Wands upside down to me is kind of somebody who is not, how can you put it? Somebody who's not, well, I wouldn't say dependable, because it's a fire energy anyway, and it's kind of, you know, again, it's those Leo, Sagittarius, kind of Aries energies that can be hard to pin down, being fire. Fire likes to kind of, you know, be able to express itself, and kind of, you know, the King of Wands, he's very kind of adventurous. He's somebody who likes to explore, likes to broaden his horizons. But upside down, it kind of also says that he can be a bit of a he can be a bit superficial, shall we say. It's probably one of the best ways to put it. He can be superficial. He can be somebody who kind of just wants that fun. He just wants fun. And coming out with the Queen of Pentacles, she wants something much more solid and much more grounded. And this may be how she's seeing the man. You can also be somebody who's full of lots of promises, but they turn into very empty words. Promises a lot more than he can actually give. And because it's fire, and because it can also be kind of to do with Jupiter, which of course we have come out here, Jupiter has that about it as well. Jupiter can be kind of very expansive and kind of promises big, but doesn't always deliver on its promises. So there could be aspects of that with this card here, that this female character, it could be the other way around. Again, gender isn't the issue, but I get the feeling that this is very much to do with the feminine, as in there's so many kind of queens that have come out along with the Lovers card. And also after this we have the Empress. So the Empress is really a representation of all those kind of feminine energies. She is the Earth Mother. She is the giver. She's permanently pregnant with potential. There's always something happening. If you think of the Earth is always giving. It sustains us. It gives us life. It gives us growth. It kind of, you know, without it, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't exist. And the Empress kind of has this quality that is very similar to the Queen of Pentacles energy as well, but she kind of represents all women, which I feel that this reading is kind of representing for this man, that this woman represents all women to him. And this is what he wants. He wants this abundance, because she represents abundance. She represents the ever-giving earth, and she feeds him, just like, and she feeds him in the sense of on the soul level as well. She feeds him not just food, but kind of she feeds his needs in every way. And the water here pouring into the stream there from the hills, and kind of the emotional side of things as well, feeding on an emotional level. And so the energies that came out with this, I'm going to read these quickly together. We have the Two of Fire, which is saying that there is something that needs to be kind of something new here needs to be created. Something new needs to come from this. There's a lot of reflection going on here. There's a lot of thought that is going into this process. And Cancerian, I don't know if this is you or the other person. I get the feeling that this is yourselves. That you're doing a lot of thinking about this. A lot of thinking of maybe, how can I fix this? How can I make this work? What is my next step? What can I do here? Because after that we have the Chariot, and the Chariot is upright and it's full steam ahead. When it's up this way, the Chariot, the head and the heart are being balanced here, and this person is moving forward. They've like suddenly come to a realization, and they're like, yes, yes, I'm going to make this happen. This is what I want. And also, if you look in the background here, there's kind of these two poles which kind of represent the kind of masculine and the feminine. This is very dual kind of energy to me, with the kind of, you know, the yin and the yang, as well as the kind of positive, negative, masculine, feminine. So this is kind of a definite kind of, yes, I'm going to do something with this. I'm going to balance this up. I'm going to create something here. My next step is very fast moving. And you end this reading, Cancer, on the world. And the world is saying to me that things are aligning here. If this had been upside down, I would have said, not a good move. But this is saying this is alignment. This is things coming into alignment. And as I'm saying this, I'm beginning to get goosebumps here. So I feel very strongly, Cancerians, that this is about you finding the kind of key to your world, kind of moving forward, and your world kind of opening up for you once you get into this place. Your world is going to open up once you take that step, and it's a big step, but it's a fast moving energy. It's kind of saying, yes, yes, I can do this. And I believe that this is what you are going to be doing, because this is still what's in your head, and what you really want is to resurrect this. And this whole reading has been about this very strongly. So just checking the time, I'm going to leave this reading there. I think that's pretty much covered everything, Cancerians. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. Very quickly, could you like it up for me? Could you subscribe to my channel as well, please, if you haven't already? If you have, thank you very much. Also, before I forget, can you tap the bell, and so you can get future videos. Also, PayPal link is on my about section for anybody who wants to have a private reading with me. My email is also in the description box down below. This is just a general reading. Anybody who wants to go further into the details of this, please let me know and I'll get back to you. Send me an email. And I think that that's everything covered. PayPal link, you can pay through PayPal as well if you want a reading. And I'm just going to say thank you very much for listening, and wishing you all the best, Cancer. Hopefully see you again. Take care.